they had a whole operation going. They had like a big shed where they'd manufacture all the stuff. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Sulakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are reading once again from Sri Guru and His Grace by Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Dhadev Goswami Maharaj. Tonight we are on the penultimate chapter entitled The Line of Sri Rupa. I think it's the second. Yeah, so it's the penultimate chapter. The last one is a very short explanation of the logo. The line of Sri Rupa. The impersonalist transcendentalists say that once we are independent of the flesh connection, the consciousness of the human soul is the highest thing, and that no finer, higher thing can exist. But the scriptures say that the supersoul, or Paramatma, is superior in existence to the individual soul, and that the Bhagavan conception, the personal conception of God, is even higher. This begins with the Vasudeva conception of Krishna alone. The Vasudeva conception, Krishna alone. The Narayan conception is again higher, and the Krishna conception is the highest. And even in the Krishna conception there are divisions, Dwarka, Mathura and Vrindavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the Srimad Bhagavatam assert that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. The Vrindavan conception of Krishna as the supreme entity is the highest because beauty is above all. Beauty is above all grandeur and power, neither physical, mental, or intellectual power, nor any other power, but beauty and love is the ultimate controlling power. Absolute good is absolute beauty, and that is the absolute controller. Mercy is above justice. Generally, we cannot conceive that anything could be greater than justice. We think that justice must be the highest principle, but we are told that mercy is above justice. And who can show mercy? Not an ordinary person, but only a king. One who can compensate the loss in justice can give mercy. And the highest court is able to compensate everything. Such a realm exists, and there the Lord is engaged in pastimes with his paraphernalia of equal quality. There is such a law, a provision, beyond the sense of justice in our puppy brain. Uddhava is recognized as the principal devotee of the Lord, and his statement about mercy is found in Srimad Bhagavatam 3:2-23. Aho bakiyam stana kala kutam jigham saya payayad apyasadvi libhi gatim datri yuchitam tatonyam kamba dayalum sharanam brajema. He says, where else should I surrender? How can I surrender to anyone more merciful than Krishna? When I find that the demoness Putana in the garb of maternal affection went to kill Krishna, but instead received such a wondrous benediction that she was given a higher post as one of Krishna's mothers. My Lord is so kind, so benevolent. Where else should I surrender? Her poisoned breast was put into the mouth of the infant child Krishna, and she was blessed with such a high and affectionate post. So how can we measure his grace, his infinite mercy? His ways and mercy are beyond all expectations. Rather than treat her with justice, we find just the opposite. He showed magnanimous behavior towards his greatest enemy. So beyond justice, there is mercy, and such a high degree of mercy, such a quality and intensity of mercy, that it cannot be measured. Uddhava prays, where should I find such a standard of grace as this? I must fall flat at the divine feet of Lord Krishna. Why should any man of intelligence not run to fall flat at the feet of such a magnanimous personality as Krishna? His nature is that of the highest love. Department of mercy. We, the finite, should approach the infinite with this spirit. If justice is applied, I have no hope. I omit that department. I have come only to seek my fortune in the department of mercy, where there is no calculation of right or wrong, of merit or demerit. I have come to that department, my Lord, because I do not know what is within me. When I analyze and study my own heart, I find that I am unknown to my own self. I am so helpless and wretched that I don't even know myself. How then should I venture to appeal to a department where something will be granted only after a calculation of my merits and demerits? I don't want that. I don't want any decision based on justice. I surrender. You may do whatever you like with me. I am the worst of sinners. What to do with me now is in your hands. You, Saviour, I have come to you. If there is any possibility, save me. This is my open appeal, my one-sided appeal. This sort of self-abnegation will automatically cleanse our hearts. By this attitude of sharanagati, or surrender, we invite the greatest attention from above. Sharanagati, surrender, is the only way to be reinstated in our lost prospect. At present, we are disconnected from the prospect of divine love, which we cherish as in the innermost quarter of our hearts. If we want to have that privilege very easily and very quickly, we must approach the Lord with plain speaking, with a naked body and mind, with everything exposed. Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.52 has written, Mat tulyo nasti prapatma naparadhi chakasyana parihari pilaja me kim bruve purushottama. My Lord, I feel ashamed. How shall I offer you so many pure things like flowers? Generally, pure things are offered to you, but what about me? I have come with the most filthy thing to offer to you. I feel ashamed. I have come to you with only my shame to beg for your mercy. There is no parallel to my sinful life, criminal life. Everything that can be conceived of as bad is found in me. It is very difficult even to speak about the characteristics of my heinous sins and crimes. Still, your nature, existence, fame and benevolence cannot but attract me. You can save me, you can purify me. Hoping against hope, I have come to you. And I have only one solace, that I am the real object of your mercy. Your tendency is to purify the meanest. Those who are the most needy have some claim to your mercy. I am the worst of the needy and the meanest of the mean. This is my only qualification. My only hope is to attract your attention and appeal to your magnanimity. Rupa Goswami says in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.151 that still there is some sort of subconscious element within him. Yuvatinam yata yuni yunam cha yuvato yata mano biramate tadvan mano biramatam tvai. Just as a young boy feels attraction for a young girl, I want that sort of attraction towards you. I want to be engrossed in you, forgetting all material paraphernalia. And by sincere surrender, at once our progress begins. And the development of that kind of attraction takes us to the topmost rank. I want that intimate connection with you, my Lord. I am the neediest of the needy, but at the same time I have this ambition. I am so disgusted with the world outside that I want the most intense and comprehensive relationship with you. With this attitude, the surrendering process begins and rises step by step. I want that standard of divine love, of intimacy with you. I want to dive deep within you. Appearing and disappearing scriptures. Govinda Valabhe Radhe Prataye Tvam Aham Sada Tvadiyam Iti Janatu Govindo Mam Tvaya Saha. This prayer is found in the Archana Padati, which comes from Gopal Bhatta Goswami's edition of the Hari Bhakti Vilas. From there it is sprung through him. It is there in the Shastra, which is an eternal flow of a particular current of knowledge. Everything is eternal in Vaikuntha and Goloka, just as the sun comes up and goes down, appears and disappears. The thought is eternal and sometimes appears and disappears. In this verse, Govinda Vallabhe Radhe, there is a sudden turn. Krishna says to his devotee, "Oh, do you want an intimate relationship with me? It is not to be found within my department. You will have to go to another department. Go then to the department of Radhika." Then at once the devotee's thought is transferred towards that side. All his energy is monopolized there. It is her monopoly. Your inner quest is not to be found within my department, Krishna says. You will have to go elsewhere and file a petition there. And with this inspiration, at once the devotee puts his petition to Radharani. Govinda Vallabhe Radhe. O Sri Radhe, your master and sustainer is Govinda. He is the Lord of your heart. Govinda means he who can give fulfillment to all our senses. With our senses we can feel perception as well as knowledge. Govinda is the master who gives fulfillment to all our channels of perception. Govinda is your Lord, but just the opposite is also true. You are the mistress of the heart of Govinda, the Supreme Master, is it not? You are the queen of his heart. You are the queen of the heart of Govinda. I have been directed to come to you with my petition. Please enlist my name in your department and admit me as a servitor in your group. Flowing river of nectar. Radhe Brindavana Dishe Karunamrita Vahini Kripaya Nija Padabja Dasyam Mahyam Pradiyatam. O Radhe, O Queen of Brindavan, you are like a flowing river filled with the nectar of mercy. Please be kind upon me and bestow upon me some small service at your lotus feet. You are the queen of the whole management of ecstasy, Rasotsav. Rasa means ecstasy. That is an unlimited flow of ecstasy. That is the specialty of Vrindavan. Adi Rasa, the original rasa, Madhura Rasa, conjugal mellow. All rasas are branches of that rasa in its particular developing character. If analyzed, all rasas will be found within Madhura Ras, and Madhura Ras has been recognized as the highest mellow of devotion. In his conversation with Ramananda Rai, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected devotion contaminated with reason. He said, Eho bhaya age kaha ara. This is superficial, go further. Mahaprabhu accepted that real bhakti begins from the stage of pure devotion, unmixed with reason. When Ramananda suggested Dasya Ras, Mahaprabhu said, this is good, but go further. Then Ramananda mentioned Shakya Ras. Mahaprabhu said, this is also good, but go further. Then he came to Vatsalya Ras, the sonhood of Godhead. This is very good, Mahaprabhu said, but go further. Then he came to Madhura Ras. Yes, Mahaprabhu said, this is best. At that stage, in the development of rasa, Vrindavan is the most suitable place. Madhura Rasa is found most extensively in Vrindavan. So it is said, Radhe Vrindavanadishe. You are the queen of that sort of lila which is found in Vrindavan. There, the highest type of nectar is flowing. You are like a flowing river of nectar, distributing ecstasy. The very nature of Krishna has been described as ecstasy himself. He is tasting the innate ecstasy of himself. He knows his ecstasy and he feels it. But to distribute that innate ecstasy outside, a particular potency is indispensable, and that is known as Hladini. The gist of Hladini Shakti, or Krishna's internal ecstasy potency, is Radhika, who is drawing the innermost rasa, the ecstasy of the highest order, extracting it from within and distributing it outside. So it is said, Karunamrita Vahini, ecstasy mixed with magnanimity, is flowing from that great fountain. And just as a river flowing from the mountains may carry with its current many valuable minerals to the outside world, the Hladini potency carries rasa out from the abode of the rasa swarup, Krishna himself, ecstasy personified. The flow of that river of nectar carries ecstasy and rasa, the flow of sweetness and magnanimity to distribute to others. Then another categorical change is effected within the mind of a devotee. In the meantime, in the course of his progress, he realizes, Krishna is of secondary concern to me. I find my primary connection with you, Sri Radhe. I want your direct service and not the direct service of Krishna. This awakening of the heart, intimate adherence and obligation to the next dearest agent, develops in a surrendered soul. At this stage, the devotee thinks, I shall derive more benefit by giving my closest attention to the nearest agent, my Gurudev. I shall thrive thereby. And it is his concern to sanction the upper connections. Of course, our intentions should be pure and genuine, and the business of that agent is to give us a favorable, normal connection with the hierarchy of service. All our attention should be connected in the service of our Guru. This should be the idea. It should be concentrated in the service of our Guru. Our first tendency is to approach Krishna. In that stage, the first thing to understand is that we are helpless. Of course, all things must be sincere. First, there is the stage of helplessness. Then we want the shelter of Krishna, sweetness personified. Then we are attracted to the sweetness of a particular type and to approach that department. There we pray for the final closest connection or permanent membership as a servitor there. This has been taught by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami as the highest achievement of the living being. Das Goswami lived for 16 years continuously in the association of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar. After they disappeared from this world, Raghunath Das, disgusted with his future prospect, went to Vrindavan to finish his life. But when he met Rupa and Sanatan there, he saw another vision, a dream of a new life. Then he found, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar have disappeared from my physical eyes, they are living here in Rupa and Sanatan. When their activities, in their preaching tendency, then he found, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Swarup Damodar have disappeared from my physical eyes, they are living here in Rupa and Sanatan within their activities, in their preaching tendency. Mahaprabhu is here as living as anything. He had to reject the idea of finishing his life, and with new vigor he began to serve in Vrindavan. And Das Goswami has given us the understanding of our highest aspiration. He says, O Radhika, I want your service. If you are not satisfied with me, I do not want Krishna nor his land, Braja. This is his prayer, and he is admitted as the Prayojan Acharya, the Guru who has shown us what is the highest aim of our life, Prayojan Tattva, the ultimate destination. And this sloka proves his position as the giver of our destination. An ocean of nectar. Asha barer amrita sindhu maye kathanchit kalo mayati gamita kila sampratamhi tvanchet kritam mai vidhasyasi naivakim me praner brje nacha varoru bakarinapi. This sloka is a direct prayer to Radharani. It expresses a particular type of hope which is so sweet and reassuring that it is compared with an unlimited ocean of nectar. He says, With that hope, I am somehow passing my days, flagging my days, dragging my life through these tedious times only for that hope. That hope is sustaining me. The nectarian ocean of hope is attracting me and sustaining me. Somehow, I am dragging my days to my only safety. Otherwise, I have lost the direct association of Mahaprabhu, Swarup Damodar, and so many other great souls, and still I am living? Why? I have a particular ray of hope, and the prospect and quality of my hope is very great and high, but my patience has reached its end. I can't endure it any longer. I can't wait. I am finished. I can't wait anymore. At this moment, if you do not show your grace to me, I am finished. I shall lose the chance forever. I shall have no desire to continue my life. It will all be useless. Without your grace, I can't stand to live another moment. And Vrindavan, which is even dearer to me than my life itself, I am disgusted with it. It is painful. It is always pinching me. What to speak of anything else? I am even disgusted with Krishna. It is shameful to utter such words, but I can have no love even for Krishna until and unless you take me up within your confidential camp of service. Such charm I have come for. I have seen the clue of such charm within the service of your camp. Without that, everything is tasteless to me, and I can't maintain my existence even in Vrindavan, and even Krishna, what to speak of others, has no charm for me. This is the prayer of Raghunath Das Goswami. Service of Radharani. So Radha Dasyam, the servitorship of Srimati Radharani, is said to be the highest attainment of the living being by the school established by Mahaprabhu. It is the gist of the Srimad Bhagavatam. It is Krishna's own version. He says in Srimad Bhagavatam 11:14-15, Natata me priyatama atma yonir na shankara na cha sankarshano na shrir naivatma cha yatha bhavan. O Uddhava, neither Brahma, nor Shiva, nor Baladev, nor Lakshmi, nor even my own self are as dear to me as you are. And that Uddhava glorifies Vrindavan, the Braja Gopis, and Radharani in this way in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:47-61. Asam aho charana renu jusam aham sham Vrindavane kim api golma lato shadinam ya dushyajam svajanam arya patam chahitva bejur mukunda paravim shrutibir vimrigyam. The gopis of Vrindavan have given up the association of their husbands, sons, and other family members who are very difficult to renounce, and they have sacrificed even their religious principles to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, which are sought after even by the Vedas. Oh, grant me the fortune to be born as a blade of grass in Vrindavan, so that I may take the dust of those great souls upon my head. The search for Sri Radha. Uddhava has shown us the high position of the gopis, and between all the gopis and Radharani there is also a categorical difference. This was proved in the Rasa Leela, when Krishna and the gopis openly displayed their transaction of heart. With that divine rasa flowing and inundating all directions, Radharani was also there. She gave the highest contribution to the common rasa vilas display of the Parakiya Madhura Ras, Paramore mellow. Then, suddenly, dissatisfaction came in Radharani's heart. She began to think, am I also counted in the common flow of rasa? Some reaction came within her mind, and suddenly she left. After displaying her particular type of super excellent dancing and singing, introducing a flow of a new type there, suddenly she departed. She left the circle of the rasa dance, and Krishna suddenly found, Radharani is not here, it is tasteless. The flow of rasa was there, but the gist, the quality is a little down. He felt, why is it not so satisfactory to my inner heart? He felt some ebb in the tide. And then by inspection, he found that Radharani was absent, disappointed. Radharani was absent. Disappointed, he left the circle of the rasa dance and went to search after her. Although the Parakiya Madhura Ras, the highest mellow of conjugal love, Vrindavan, and the gopis were all there, still there is a categorical difference in quality between the other gopis and the particular camp of Radharani. In every way there is a categorical difference, both in quality and quantity. Jayadev Goswami, in his Gita Govinda 3.1, has described how Krishna left the circle of the rasa dance. Kamsarir api samsara vasana baddha shrinkalam radham adhaya hridaye tatyaja braja sundari. Lord Krishna took Srimati Radharani within his heart, for he wanted to dance with her. In this way, he left the arena of the rasa dance and the company of all the other beautiful damsels of Braja. Jayadev has described in this way that Krishna left the circle of the rasa dance, taking Radha within his heart. Krishna departed in search of Radharani. Her position is so exalted, it is said, Lord Krishna's transcendental desires for loving exchanges could not be satisfied even in the midst of billions of gopis. Thus, he went searching after Srimati Radharani. Just imagine how transcendentally qualified she is. Shatakoti gopite na he kama nirvapana. The other gopis numbered so many, but in quality they were a little less. Their total combination could not satisfy Krishna. The qualitative difference was there. That is found. The Rupanuga Sampradaya, the followers of the line of Sri Rupa, are those who have the unique taste of service in the camp of Radharani. In that plane, there is no entrance of any mundane exploitation or renunciation, and not even legalized shastric devotion. The highest kind of devotion is not controlled by any law. It is spontaneous and automatic. Sacrifice to the highest degree is only possible in that camp. The highest kind of divine sentiment is distributed from the camp of Srimati Radharani, and that can never be compared with any attainment, hitherto known even in the eternal factor of time and space. Then, there is another stage for which we should be prepared. Why should we try to enter into the camp of Radharani? Should we think that there, in that better atmosphere, we shall have Krishna's presence more confidentially? Should we think, I will have contact with Krishna very intimately? Should we want to enter into that camp? No, we want to avoid the connection of Krishna but concentrate on the service of Radharani. Why? What more benefit is possible there in the service of Radharani? If we approach Krishna directly to give service to him, we shall be losers. Radharani's service to Krishna is of the highest order in every way. If we devote our energy to help Radharani, our service will be utilized in her service. In this way, she will serve Krishna with her service more enhanced. Then the reciprocation will pass to us through her as our reward. That will be devotion of the highest type, Mahabhav. So the general inclination of the Sakis, the confidential maidservants of Radharani, is not to come in direct connection with Krishna. They avoid that, but still it is the benevolent and generous nature of Radharani to connect them with Krishna on some plea at some time or other. But their innate nature is always to avoid Krishna and concentrate on the service of Radharani. This is confirmed in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila 8.208. Radhara Swarupa Krishna Prema Kalpalata Sakki Gana Hayatara Palava Pushpapata. By nature, Srimati Radharani is just like a creeper of love of Godhead, and the gopis are the twigs, flowers, and leaves of that creeper. Eternally, the twigs, flowers, and leaves sprout from the creeper of Srimati Radharani. She is the trunk and they are the branches. This is their relationship. Yet still, there is another higher thing. We are known as Rupanugas, or the followers of Sri Rupa. Why? The service of Srimati Radharani eliminates everything, even Narayan, go to Krishna. There is the Krishna of Dwarka, the Krishna of Mathura, and the Krishna of Vrindavan. And then again in Vrindavan, where there is free mixing without hesitation in other camps, Radharani's camp is the highest. Eliminating all other camps, direct service to Radharani is considered to be the highest. Still, there is another point. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sri Rupa Manjari. Who is Rupa? Rupa Manjari. Generally, so the question is, who is Rupa? The answer is Rupa Manjari. Generally, the hierarchy in the spiritual world is eternal. New recruits can occupy a particular rank of Manjari, assistant, in Madhura Ras. And the leader of the Manjaris is Sri Rupa Manjari. What is the special feature of the Manjari camp, which is not found amongst the Shakis, the girlfriends of Krishna? First, there is Radharani, then the camp of her right-hand personal attendant, Lalita. Then under Lalita, there is Sri Rupa Manjari. What is the unique position of the followers of Sri Rupa? The new recruits can attain to that status. Now, the privilege of this Manjari class we are to conceive most respectfully and attentively. When Radha and Govinda are in secrecy, in a private place, the Sakis, who are well versed in the art of that kind of play because they are a little grown up, do not like to approach there to disturb their confidential mixing. If the more grown up Sakis enter, both Radha and Govinda will feel shy. So their presence may create some disturbance, but the younger girls can enter there, and then Radha and Govinda have no hesitation in free mixing. So in that higher stage of the mixing of Radha Govinda, the free play of Radha Govinda, these Manjaris, the younger girls, can have admission, but the grown-up Sakis cannot have admission there. New recruits may come up to the Manjari class, and the Manjaris have that sort of special advantage under the leadership of Sri Rupa Manjari. So they get the best advantage there, the most sacred type of pure service, which is not open even to the Sakis, is open to the Manjaris. That is found in Radharani's camp. So the position of the Rupanugas, the followers of Sri Rupa, is the most profitable position. That has been given out by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That has been shown by him. And that is fixed as the highest limit of our fortune in Krishna's concern. This is unexpectable, undesignable, and beyond hope. But our prospect lies there in that subtle camp of Sri Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami. So the camp, the Sampradaya of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is known as the Rupanuga Sampradaya. There our fate and fortune are located. Now we have to conduct ourselves in such a way that naturally we can connect with that highest, purest spiritual conception from here. We must not allow ourselves to be satisfied with anything less than this highest ideal. That should be the highest goal of our life. And we must adjust our approach from our present position. Spiritual inheritance. We are minors, as in juniors, minors. Our Father has left us with so many important documents about the properties we are to inherit. As minors, we should try to find out what properties belong to us in those documents. When we come of age, we shall take possession of our rightful inheritance. The Raganuga Shastra, the scriptures of spontaneous devotional love, has been given to us, left to us by our Guru, our guardian, our Father. And as we grow more and more in the spiritual line, we will have to detect what is our prospect, what is our real wealth. We must recover that. We must have that. It is there in the document. It is ours. This is our position. We are minors, but we must become mages and demand the service meant for us by our guardians. Devotee, we are putting in our claim with you. We think that in the absence of our father, the court has appointed a guardian in order to keep us out of mischief and also to regulate our inheritance. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, this is not mine. This is the property of my Gurudev. And Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada gave you a clue. He has distributed the key widely and given a clue. With the key, come and open the iron chest and find out what valuable ornaments and gems are within the chest. Of course, no one will understand us when we say such things. Who will come to appreciate? They'll say, oh, this is all the product of a disorganized brain. These people are trying to take electricity from the sky, leaving aside this concrete earth. They are like the chatak bird. Rupa Goswami says that there is a class of bird known as chatak who never take a drop of water from the earth. Their nature is that whenever they want a drop of water, they always cast their eyes to the clouds. One drop of pure water, that is their cry. And so they wait with their beaks towards the sky, towards the clouds. And they never use any water from the earth. So our line is like that. The spirit of that bird is described in the following way by Rupa Goswami. A drop of your grace. Virachaya mai dandam dinabandhu dayamba gatir iha nabhavata kachid anya mamasti ni patatu sata kotir ni baram na navambas tad api kila payoda stuyate chatakina. You may punish me, O cloud, you may punish me. A thunderbolt, if a thunderbolt comes, I'll be nowhere. You can throw down thunder or you can give me water, but how much can I drink with my small beak? A flood of rain may come. O Lord of the poor, Lord of the helpless, you can give me a drop of your devotion, or you may punish me like anything. He is always praying for water. The cloud may satisfy him immediately, or by sending a thunderbolt, it may finish him and efface him from the earth. The bird has no other alternative by nature. So he says, my position is also like that bird, O Krishna. You may finish me, destroy me, efface me from the world, or you may save me by only a drop of your grace. I won't search after my satisfaction in the mud. That is finished. I'll never go back to search for my fortune in the earth, in the mundane. I am already fixed to do or die. Either I must receive a drop of your grace, or you may finish me. In this way, Srila Rupa Goswami prays that Krishna's mercy will descend like rain from the clouds, and not only quench his thirst, but bathe him, satisfy his utmost hankering, and fulfill his innermost necessity. So, we should never search for our fortune in the mud. We must always look to the high sky and pray for Sri Guru and his grace. That essentially is the final chapter of the book. There is technically a last chapter, which is an explanation of the Mat's logo. So we can do that tomorrow. And I was thinking maybe we can accompany that with, because the Mat's logo is intimately connected with the Gayatri mantra, we can accompany that with the reading of the last chapter of Subjective Evolution of Consciousness. It's only very short, this one. So I just read straight through because that last chapter is the longest in the book. But is there any enlightened Upadesh?
Very high topics.
Yes. I was going to say, of course, it's deliberately the last chapter in a book on Guru Tattva. It's the glorification of Srimati Radharani, who is the personification of, who is the highest conception of Guru, personifies the very pinnacle, the very zenith of Guru Tattva, is embodied in Radharani, as she is the personification of Krishna's Hladini Shakti. the energy that exists for the pleasure and satisfaction of Krishna. And so it's logical to assume that if you are a devotee of Krishna and you want the goal of life is to please Krishna, then you must go through that person that personifies the energy that is designed to please Krishna. That Krishna designed himself to please himself. So you go through that, must go through Srimati Radharani. But of course it's very high, it mirrors the progression that we see in the Upadeshamrita, where it goes from the very basics of controlling the senses to the exalted, incomparable status of Srimati Radharani, service to her as being the ultimate objective. And of course service to her in an even more qualified way. Of course Rupa Goswami in Upadeshamrita is not going to list himself as an objective service, but we understand that his service to Srimati Radharani, we access that dimension through service to him or her, you could say, in that realm. In an even more specific way, our Radha Dasyam is facilitated through Srila Rupa Goswami. And the example of the chatak bird given by Rupa Goswami, Gurudev mentions that on several occasions, right? I remember when Manasa Krishna Prabhu, Gurudev liked Manasa a lot, and he said some nice things about Manasa, right? And really nice, and so Gurudev was like, so Manasa said, Manasa Chandra Chakora, like singing the song, right? Manasa. But it's a very high ideal for a bird. It's a very fitting, very suitable, a perfect example of not diverting from a lofty ideal, as may cost the bird its life. And it may entail some hardship, dehydration, thirst, and it may even, there's the prospect of the lightning coming instead. The bird is waiting for the cloud and the rain, but what if some lightning comes and terminates the bird? So there's all sorts of, there's the possibility of getting the opposite of what one wants. All risk and no gain. If you can accommodate that concept, then you're qualified to go through that door to a place where there's no risk for all gain. But first you must swallow the pill. You must be the Jataka bird and be prepared to take on the lightning, to accept the lightning, that possibility. And that is the very gist of Mahaprabhu's teachings. If we look at Shastakam, we also see the progression from the broad Yuga Dharma of spreading the name and the potency of the name as a panacea for all of society's ills. It cleanses the heart of, it's their prime benediction for all of humanity. And then the personal aspect of, Krishna, you may treat me as you will. You may break my heart by not turning up. You may abuse me in the name of love. You may be like the quintessential bad boy, like whatever. But still, it's not, that doesn't really matter. Still, my love is unconditional. It's unshakable, unbreakable. I'm like the Chataka bird, that will, regardless of that lightning, regardless of that thirst, that potential for hurt, will still maintain its focused hankering for the service and devotion to Krishna, for the highest ideal, essentially. There's some other points too, but maybe we'll finish. You must want to add, Vishaka, surely. We need at least a little something from you every evening. Otherwise it's incomplete.
I mean, it's very purifying actually to hear. Normally we don't go to think so much about these things, these very high topics, but you know, every now and again, as Gurudev said, it's important to have some deep darshan, pointing in the direction, you know, to remember what is our high ideal. And so Srila Sridhar Maharaj is saying, like, this is our ideal, and where we are here now in this world, we have to adjust ourselves so that we're moving towards that. You know, it's something for us to think about. I particularly like near the beginning of that section where Srila Sridhar Maharaj speaks of that verse of Rupa Goswami. Well, there's several verses of Rupa Goswami there, but the Matulyo Nashtipa Patma Naparadi Chakashan, that verse is very, very striking. And the way Srila Sridhar Maharaj explains it, he brings these things to life in such a vivid way. Expressing, you know, there's no one who's more sinful than I, no one more offensive than I. I'm ashamed even to come before you to confess my sin. What can I say? Normally persons approach you with many pure things to offer, like flowers, and what do I have? Not necessary. I only have my filthy self. So like really deeply conveying this, what is the mood of real surrender? Not that we can offer anything or give anything, but we're actually trying to offer ourselves in the very core of our heart, however filthy that may be. This is the starting, and it's interesting also, you know, like what is he talking about in this chapter? He's talking about what our high ideal is. This is the starting point. If you can come to that point of feeling, genuinely feeling in such an authentic way, you are the lowest of the low. You know, like that will be your starting point. You know? You can genuinely feel your disqualification. That's your qualification for approaching such a, you know, not some voyeuristic self-projection, you know, into such a high sphere of existence.
Yeah.
All these silly things that people get into. But to genuinely feel what your real position is, you know, in a very honest and naked way, this, you know, naked approach. This is the real starting point. And then, and you may use me as you like. You know? Maybe you could make me or break me. You could use me as such deep expressions of surrender being expressed here.
Yeah. The Mat has I heard that the Mat has a publication of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, but it's not in English, it's in Bengali.
Yeah.
Huh? I'm pretty sure I have one in English.
Not our Mat.
Is that instruction on devotional practice?
No.
I think it's
Are you thinking of Upadesham?
No, I think so.
No, we don't have Bhakti.
Not in English.
So the Swami Maharaj published it as Nectar of Devotion, right?
Yeah. And then there's other, like Bhanu Swami's done a translation. There's a couple of translations around.
Those verses are also included in Prabhu.
Yeah.
Let's never search for our fortune in the mud. We must always look to the high sky, wait for Shri Guru and his faith. That conclusion is so wonderful. Just what else do we need in life? You know, than to hear, to come in contact with such pure expression from the heart of such pure Vaishnavas. What more do we need? This is it. This is success. This is to be successful. person in this world, to be able to hear such things, to have some sort of hazy aspiration for such things. This is real success.
Or, if possible, intense aspiration, right? Intense longing, lolyam. Because really, this is such a, you could say, such a difficult, in a sense, position to achieve that real Sharanagati, where you are presenting yourself stripped down like of any facade, right? As you are, warts and all is the old expression, right? Krishna, here I am. And I'm not trying to make a plea of any kind of justice, judicial treatment.
Right.
It's just, I need mercy, that's all.
Right.
To come to that point of bare, raw Sharanagati is actually very high. And I think to reach that requires an equally intense desire for that state, a hankering for that state, like the Chataka bird, crying out and hankering, like a child for its mother, right? That's also an example. That innocent, stripped down, there's no pretense in the child, it just wants its mother. And there's no substitute for the mother either. The child wants its mother, another woman is not going to do the job, it needs its mother. And it's a heart, it's almost like, it's a cry of the heart, it's a cry for sustenance and nourishment and the love and the all-embracing protection that the mother offers to the child. But then if the child goes to later analyze the mother using its intellect or using objective criterion, such as, oh, how does my mother compare in terms of affection to other women? How pretty is my mother compared to other women? How rich is she? You know, so if one goes to approach the spiritual world and using any measure outside of earnest necessity of the heart, then they're bound to be misled. How does my guru compare to another guru in terms of intellect? Or, you know, how much spiritual wealth do they have? If we use any other criterion to approach that spiritual realm, we're going to be misguided. It has to be a bare, stripped down cry of like a sincere, earnest, Chataka bird type of approach. Otherwise, it's to impose material considerations, like a child. If they try to do that, like, hang on a minute, my mother's not as pretty or wealthy as that woman. Maybe that's a better mother over there. So you go and, you know, but that's going to ruin that's going to ruin the loving relationship between you and your mother, which is a sacred and special thing. The same thing in the spiritual life. If you go to approach it with mundane parameters imposed on that, you will ruin the spirit of the whole thing. And one of the most subtle mundane parameters is the intellect, to try and approach it with one's intellect and compare one's guru to another guru or to another spiritual teacher based on your intellectual judgment of the matter. And to do that, you'll miss the love. It's like sacrificing your mother for another woman. There's no substitute. But that may happen if you approach with material considerations. Like, hang on, that woman has got more money. She can buy me more sweets than my mother can, or something like that. So you may get more sweets, but that you're going to sacrifice something very special in the process. Anything else? Jai Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhadev Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Hari Harai Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha Jai Sabhadikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Chu Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmala Chari Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Srila Guru Dev Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varg Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnav Mandala ki jai. Samaveda Bhakti Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bo.
Hari Bo.
Shri Guru's Grace ki jai.
Jai.